Hey guys, it's day 2 of the Whodunit Detective Agency, the Diamond Mystery. I want to talk to you about something that we're going to see in this book. It's called a red herring. So let me show you this little chart I made. I hope you can see it. It says, mystery readers, look out for red herring clues. So what's a red herring? A red herring is something put into the story to really throw somebody off track. So when mystery readers notice a clue, they worry it might not be a real clue. So sometimes the authors use these to throw us off track. But don't let that happen to you. So a red herring is just a term that authors have come up with that it just is, it's kind of like the author is having fun with us and trying to throw us off track. So that means we have to really be thinking more and more and more deeply, really thinking about motives and suspects as we read. Drop my book, so I'm going to pick that up real quick. Kiko and Murphy are down here. Okay, here we go. So, the Whodunit Detective Agency, the Diamond Mystery. I love the pictures in this book. I think it makes it fun. Chapter 4, The Suspects. That's where I'm going to start reading today. In the hallway between the office and the store, Mr. Carrot stopped suddenly and lowered his voice to a whisper. Please help me catch the thief. Otherwise, I'll be bankrupt soon. So do you know what bankrupt means? It means he's not going to have enough money to continue his business and he'll lose all his money. So he's worried that he's going to lose his business. Jerry and Maya had no time to reply before Mohammed Carrot walked on. They followed him to the store and they met the 3 employees, Vivian Leander, Danny Braveheart, and Luke Smith. Mohammed Carrot stood in the middle of the store and introduced everyone. This is Jerry and Maya. They're going to work here for a few days. They will wash the windows, empty the trash, run errands, and help with other odds and ends. Vivian, my sticky note is super sticky, sorry. Vivian and Luke stepped forward to shake hands and say hello. Vivian wore a glittering necklace. Strange, thought Jerry. She's supposed to be short on money. Vivian Leander smiled at Jerry and Maya, but they sensed her mind was on something else. Why did she stop and listen outside the owner's door earlier? How could she afford such an expensive gold necklace? What does she know about the stolen diamonds? So look what the author did right here. They put these words in italics, and this is what the character's thinking. This is what Jerry is thinking. Instead of putting quotation marks around it, they just wrote it in italics, that kind of wispy writing. Let me turn off my phone. Oh, so many things to think about today. Hope you guys are doing well today. Miss you. Luke held a bright green apple in his hand and laughed, showing his big white teeth. He likes fruit, Maya remembered Mohammed Carrot saying. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, said Luke with a laugh, patting his well-toned stomach. So that's the next character, Luke. Then he threw the apple up in the air and tried to catch it behind his back, but he missed, and the apple fell with a thud and rolled under the glass cabinet near Vivian Leander. So that's Luke. She turned up her nose at Luke, who was down on his knees digging around under the cabinet. Danny Braveheart smiled sourly at Luke Smith, who he thought was making a fool of himself scrambling around on the floor. Danny did not step forward to say hello like the others. He stayed in his corner and glared at the 2 children. He didn't seem to like anyone new coming into the store. All right then, let's get back to work, said Mr. Carrot, clapping his hands together. Time is money, as we all know. Maya immediately headed to the broom closet, took out a bucket, a cloth, and a squeegee. She started cleaning the store window while keeping her eyes and ears alert. So Maya is using these cleaning supplies because remember, the suspects don't know why they're there. They just think they're working there. Okay, here's what's coming up next. I want to go ahead and show you that cool picture. So that's definitely Vivian. I'm not sure who that man is right there. Back on her side of the store, Vivian Leander started to hum and fiddle around behind the corner. Before too long, the first customer of the day came in. It was an elderly gentleman with a gray mustache and a hat. He entered the store like a man on a mission. He stopped in front of a glass display case containing a selection of expensive diamond necklaces. He must be looking for something beautiful for the woman he loves, thought Maya. As soon as she saw their first customer, Vivian Leander blushed and fluttered around nervously. Since Maya had the inside situation under control, Jerry left the store to investigate outside. He hung his binoculars around his neck and jogged across the street to the church. Inside, he met the church caretaker. Jerry introduced himself as a local ornithologist. Okay, so Jerry's wearing binoculars, you know, the two, I can't get all this organized, binoculars, like, so what kind of person would need binoculars, first of all? People who do what? They're looking for... And he said he introduced himself as a local ornithologist. That's somebody that studies birds. So he looks like a bird watcher or a bird expert. So he walked into the church, which is right across the street. You see his binoculars? A local what? Asked the caretaker. An ornithologist, it means bird watcher, explained Jerry. Someone who studies birds. I was wondering if I could do a bit of bird watching from the church tower, he continued, holding up his binoculars. There have been reports of South American jacuzzi stork here in town, a very rare bird. If I'm lucky enough to have a sighting of it, I'll report it to the newspaper right away. It would be a huge sensation for Pleasant Valley. I'm sure that'll be all right, replied the caretaker, and showed Jerry the door leading up to the tower. So he's not exactly being honest, but he's trying to get a different view of the jewelry store. Up in the tower, the caretaker opened some of the shutters that faced the street. He wished Jerry luck and headed back downstairs. Once alone, Jerry crouched down and began looking through his binoculars at Mohammed Carrot's jewelry store on the opposite side of the street. The investigation was on. Okay, I have to stop for a second. Murphy, no. He's trying to bite off the things on the blinds, the little things that dangle down. Oh, Murphy. Murphy. Okay, chapter 5. Investigations inside and out. So we've got Maya inside the store. We've got Jerry outside the store. Down in the store, Jerry could see Vivian Leander showing jewelry to the elderly gentleman. The tray lined with red velvet held glittering necklaces and sparkling rings. She looks pretty happy, thought Jerry. I wonder why. The elderly man looked at the jewelry, but he seemed more interested in the assistant. Jerry could see Maya cleaning on the other side of the store. He was sure she was trying to hear what Vivian and the customer were saying. When the elderly gentleman turned to leave, Vivian stopped him with a kiss on the nose. What service? Okay, this has me confused. It might have you a little confused too. Does she do that to all the customers? Wondered Jerry. So here's Maya outside. She's cleaning the windows. Oh, she's inside, sorry. She's inside cleaning the windows. And she's like, what? And Jerry's like, huh? Inside the store, Maya took her window cleaning supplies and headed up to the second floor. She knocked and then opened the door to Danny Braveheart's office. I'm going to clean the windows here now, she said politely. Danny Braveheart quickly shut something away in his desk drawer, something he obviously did not want Maya to see. Maya tried to peer across the room to see what it might be, but Danny stopped her with a hiss. Don't you have something else to do besides snoop on me? Go ahead and start cleaning the windows if you must. What a nasty guy, thought Maya. He's definitely hiding something. From his perch in the church tower, Jerry could see everything. Maya had moved to the window. She cautiously waved to him, and he waved back. But then Jerry saw something else, something that scared him. Do you hear Murphy drinking his water? Okay. Danny Braveheart had opened his desk drawer and taken out a long knife. He tested the blade against his thumb and nodded approvingly. Wonder what is going on there. He's got a knife from his desk drawer. Maya is trapped in a room with a madman wielding a knife, and I can't do anything about it, Jerry thought desperately. He waved frantically at Maya and gestured for her to turn around, but Maya just waved happily back. Rip! Maya spun around at the sudden noise and saw Danny Braveheart opening letters with a long, sharp knife. It wasn't a knife. It was a letter opener. Have you ever seen a letter opener? You can put it right under the part of the envelope where it's stuck, and you just slide it under there and it opens the envelope easily. So that kind of scared me for a second, but it was okay. I've finished the windows in here, said Maya nervously. Danny Braveheart didn't answer. When Maya left the room, she heard him opening that desk drawer again. I guess he's taking out whatever he hid before, thought Maya. Jerry lowered his binoculars and breathed a huge sigh of relief. Whew. No one said detective work was easy, he thought. Then he heard someone stomping up the stairs to the church tower. It was the caretaker from the church again. Have you seen the jacuzzi stork yet? He asked curiously. Not yet, answered Jerry, but an ornithologist needs lots of patience. Jacuzzi storks are tough to spot this early on in the year. If the newspaper decides to write anything about the bird, could you tell them that I'm the one that opened the church tower for you? Of course, said Jerry. My name is Roland Sussman. Sussman with 3 S's, said the caretaker. But Jerry hadn't heard him because he was already busy looking through his binoculars again. Chapter 6. This will be our last chapter for today. Maya was now on the top floor of the jewelry store, standing just outside Luke Smith's office. She took a deep breath and lifted her hand to knock. After finding a large knife on the second story floor, she wondered if she might find what she might find on the third floor. And Maya was confronted by Luke Smith dressed in a tracksuit, like a running suit. Maya gasped. Sorry to surprise you, Luke said kindly. I always go for a jog right before lunch. He gestured to his sneakers and he smiled. Through his binoculars, Jerry could see Maya's surprised expression. Then he saw Luke Smith leave the building through the front door. Okay, so here's Luke Smith leaving through the front door of the jeweler. Here's the other side of the page, just so you can see it. I wish you could see what Murphy's doing right now. I'll show you in a minute if you keep listening. Luke Smith ran a few short feet and then stopped by the building's drain pipe kneeling down to tie his shoelaces. With a quick motion, he picked up something from the street, hopped up, and ran off toward the post office. He had a big smile on his face. I have some ideas about him right now. Do you? That's a strange route for a jog, thought Jerry. Meanwhile, Maya looked around Luke's office. It had the same layout as Danny Braveheart's office below. There was one workbench and 2 windows facing the street, one of which was open. Luke's tools were spread out along the workbench, and some of his clothes hung on the coat rack against the wall. Maya walked to the open window and waved to Jerry in the church tower. Jerry waved back. Maya moved around the room slowly, looking for something without knowing exactly what she was looking for. She picked up the tools, twisting and turning them to see how they worked. She checked the drawers in the desk. They were all locked. There's something missing, she thought. Then she realized. The apple. Something told her that Luke's green apple was very important. She didn't know why. It was just a feeling she had. When she pictured Luke, she immediately saw the green apple right in front of her eyes. She looked everywhere but couldn't find the apple. He must have eaten it, she thought, and I know just how to find out. Maya raced over to the trash can to look for the apple core, but it was empty. Suddenly, Jerry saw Luke Smith leave the post office. He tucked a small key in his pocket and jogged back to the jewelry store. Oh no, Maya was still nosing around his office, looking for clues. Jerry watched Luke open the jewelry store door and disappear into the building. This is where a good tip-off would come in handy, thought Jerry. He needed to warn Maya somehow. Oh, look how he's going to warn her. He's got a mirror, and it looks like he's going to make some kind of a reflection towards her. So I'm wondering, I don't know if you're wondering this yet, but I'm wondering if Luke Smith is really the one who is doing it, or if that's our red herring that the author's trying to make it seem like Luke's the one. Not sure. Jerry opened his detective bag and took out a small mirror. He held it out through the shutters of the church tower and turned it toward the sun. It caught a ray of sunshine and reflected straight into Luke Smith's shop. Jerry directed the beam of light right into Maya's face. At first, Maya was irritated and held her hands across her eyes. Ugh! But then she understood that Jerry was trying to tell her something. She ran across the room to the cleaning supplies and pretended to work. Just in time, as soon as she picked up the bucket and squeegee, the door to the room opened. In walked that still smiling Luke Smith. "Hi there, junior worker," he said with a smile. "I've just finished your window," Maya said cheerfully and headed out the door. Phew, that was a little too close for comfort. Jerry sighed over in the church tower. So he could see that happening. He was like, whew, that was too close for comfort. We're going to stop there. Today there is a question for you to answer in Seesaw about this chapter. So if you didn't listen to the story, you're going to really struggle with that. I'm going to show you Murphy real quick, and then tomorrow we'll do chapter 7 and chapter 8. Let's see what Murphy's up to. Hi, what you doing? Were you playing with the blinds? Were you playing with the blinds? I think you were. Okay, bye guys.